Hello, this is Koshi George. I'm a licensed CPA in the state of California, and I'm speaking to you from the city of Kochi in Kerala, India. Kerala, India is where I was born. I'm an American citizen, and I'm excited to be speaking to you. I want to share with you a few things that we have been experiencing as a family over the last 970 days. Today is 970th day since my family are being brutally bullied, harassed, threatened. Racial slurs are hurled at us. Things like, get out of this country, go back to India, what are your buffaloes, your rats, blighted people from a third world country. We've heard it all. We've been threatened in many ways. There won't be time enough to go through all the threats that we have faced. Suffice it to say that 970 days of kind of a Guantanamo Bay kind of an existence. People may laugh at me if I tell them that we have experienced Guantanamo Bay right in Silicon Valley. You'll laugh at me, right? You'll say, what's wrong with this guy? But if I were to sit you down for half an hour, if you're a media person, and tell you what all we have been through, you will be aghast. But here we are standing, staying strong as a family. Why am I in India right now, you may ask? Well, we came here for a few reasons. Number one, my mom is 80 plus. My father-in-law is 92. We have a daughter who is an early teen and hasn't seen her grandparents in a long time. And life is very unpredictable, isn't it? Especially in today's world, anything can happen. And traveling all the way from the United States to India is not an easy task. It takes about 24 hours to get here, change of flights and everything else. That apart, this is summer vacation, and so this is the best opportunity we thought we could use before our daughter steps into her sophomore years, and then it gets busy next year, and then 2 years, and it's college and all that kind of stuff. So we are here for a brief time. And being away, from a place where we have been facing all this harassment and bullying for the last, as I said, 970 days, our troubles began on 30th of November 2020 onwards. I have put other videos on YouTube that explain what exactly happens, and you can follow all of that if you desire to see how horrible it is when bullying and harassment and racism happens in the United States to immigrants like me. I'm a first generation immigrant to the United States from India. My wife similarly is. Our daughter was born in the United States of America. But yet we are being told to get out of the country, go back to India, water your buffaloes. Horrible stuff, folks. Our guests are told similarly. Our daughter's friends are being stared at. She hasn't seen friends in a long time visit our home because they're all afraid of this bully. This bully happens to be an attorney in Santa Clara County and believes he can say all these things to people of color whom he harasses regularly. I'm standing up because one of the things that I have learned after coming to the United States, and I've been in the United States for 26 plus years, is to be bold. Believe me, when I grew up in India, I didn't have this kind of courage within me. But when my daughter was bullied in the month of February 2021, where the bully brought his SUV right up to her and raced it and scared the living daylights out of her, and my child ran into my home and said, "Dad, so-and-so is scaring me." That so-and-so is this attorney who is a bully in the neighborhood and gets away with murder. When I saw the look of fear in my daughter's eyes, that look still has not left me. February 2021 to now, it's July of 2023, and I have no solutions. We have a restraining order given to us by a wonderful judge in the Santa Clara County court system. But beyond that, this is a lawyer who knows how to play the system, a person who destroys human beings through the court system. And I have no doubts he has not been doing it to others, because I myself have got so many spurious lawsuits against me, my corporation, and so many other people. The fire captain of San Jose South, the code enforcement and one of its employees, and police officers of San Jose. All of them, against all of them, this fellow has filed lawsuits because they stand with us. I have all the respect for San Jose Police, for the District Attorney's Office. Many of them are understanding. But the problem here is much more than that. When a bully happens to be an attorney, it is like an impregnable wall. You cannot get justice. If an ordinary person was bullying me, probably I wouldn't even be doing these kind of videos. You understand what I'm trying to say? I wouldn't be doing these kind of videos. I wouldn't be out there, anybody saying this is defamation. No, I'm not trying to defame anybody. We have video evidences, we have pictures, we have documentary evidences, we have witnesses who are willing to testify in court about this man's behaviors. So I am not, I'm not engaging some tomfoolery by coming out in public and telling you what the heck is going on. Okay? Being far away here in India gives me a sense of relief from constantly being called a fuckface, a dickhead, a fruitcake, a queer, a rat, and all these kind of dirty, disgusting words hurled at me and my wife. When you are away, you feel nourished, right? I feel nourished. But I haven't stopped fighting. I haven't stopped telling that we are being bullied and harassed. When we return back to the United States, it's going to be back to the same thing. Folks, me and my wife and our daughter, we haven't slept properly for 970 days and counting. These laws, when a lawyer files a law, if you've ever faced a lawsuit in your life, you will know what I mean. It's not fun. Lawyers have depleted us of cash. All our savings are gone. You work hard for your money, right? We lost all our money. Lost all our money. The dreams and aspirations I have for my daughter, I don't know whether I'll be able to ever make that money again when she's in college, whether she will even go to college, or how long before she goes to college. Our only child. This is the predicament. I don't want this to happen to anybody else. I just don't want this to happen to anybody else. I don't know. Tomorrow I could be shot dead by this guy when I return back to the United States. It can happen. He has cronies. He threatens other neighbors in our neighborhood not to speak to me because his cronies tell them they know how to shoot. People have cried on my shoulders in our neighborhood. Koshi, why did we buy a home near this guy? This is not the way to live, folks. Let me give you a few instances. I won't be very long. This video has already gone on to 8 minutes, so I won't take much time more than this, maximum 12 minutes, guys. But you know what? Initially, when he started troubling our neighborhood with putting debris on the easement, bullying us in different ways, I had a legal firm issue 2 cease and desist letters. And you know what he did? He called me, a guy who says, whenever I speak to him, he says, I can't understand your English. He says, come here, you fuckhead. He says that. And says, you bring any lawyer before me, I'll chew them alive. I'll chew them alive. I'm a rock star lawyer in Santa Clara County. Nobody can stand before me. I'm one of the richest lawyers in Santa Clara County. What do you think of yourself? Okay. Those lawyers got fixed by him. He fixes other lawyers. This is what he does. Today we are on to 1, 2, 3, 6, 5 lawyers we've had so far. The present ones are, we don't know. Everything is in limbo. I can't pay my lawyers anymore. When you can't pay lawyers, they want out. It's been happening, folks. It's brutal in the United States when you face these kind of bullies. And the legal system is infested with people who harm you. There are good lawyers, do not get me wrong. I'm not against the US legal system. I think I have lived all across the globe in many countries. I think it's a very fair system. It's a very slow system, but it's a fair system. And I'm willing to wait on till justice comes. But you know what? We're losing money. We're losing a lot of our money, and it worries me. I have never been in debt. Never. And this video is not about asking people for money. I'll have my head chopped off, but I will never borrow from another person or harm another person. You know what? I go around, I'm a finance guy, I go around telling people to stay out of debt and how to build their wealth and how to do proper accounting, how to file your taxes properly. I don't cheat people. And I know when you go the right way, you can systematically build a nest egg. Rome was never built on a day. I never believe in quick methods of getting rich. No. Here I am today, depleted of all our money. It's all gone in to lawyers who made lots of promises to us but have done nothing to stop this scoundrel. They let this scoundrel, my lawyers, let this scoundrel set the agenda. How can we ever win a lawsuit? They let him set the agenda and he fixes them. One of our lawyers, a nice man, this guy went and filed a lawsuit against that lawyer. So as a result, now we don't have him. Then we have to go and look for new lawyers. Do you know, I've been to 27 different lawyers from Burlingame to Gilroy in California, in Northern California, and every one of them, many of them, not every one of them, many of them gave me various reasons. Some said that we have conflict of interest representing you. We don't want to have anything to do with this jerk. This is their words, lawyers' words. Lawyers in Santa Clara County said one word, described my neighbor. Mr. George, he's a jerk. We don't want to represent you because we don't want to go down representing you. Then there were others who said, we will represent you. But they wanted a humongous amount of money. Some of them wanted $50,000 to $100,000 as a retainership over and above representing us. How can you give money like that? And you know how soon lawyers, the burn rate of lawyers is? It's unbelievable. They can go from one, like I went 15 feet to take a photocopy, $250, easy. That's how fast money disappears when you go to a legal firm. All of the money that I ever had for my daughter's education is all gone. I haven't paid my daughter's school fees for the last 1 year, and the school has been nice to me. And it worries me. Debt is not the way to live. I know today very well how people become homeless in the United States. You know what? I used to volunteer in soup kitchens in the Bay Area. And I was surprised. Let me tell you the story. I know this video is getting a little longer, but I just want to convey this. I've been surprised seeing educated people sneak in for a meal at a soup kitchen and then they just leave. A few times I observed this. One of the moments I was there, I decided to stop by and speak to one of those gentlemen. I said, hello, how are you? And we just started talking. And I was surprised that he's homeless. An educated man who speaks more, I speak about 8 languages. A man who knew about more than 15 languages. And he's an American. He's been all around the globe. Wonderful man, but became homeless. How does it happen? Because there's no safety net in the United States of America, folks. You lose your money, you lose everything. And that man was homeless. I'm not going to share his story. I was shocked. Today, I'm probably a few steps away from homelessness. And this happens because when you have rogue lawyers like our lawyer, our attorney neighbor, who can destroy people through the court system, you will lose a lot of money in your life. I am holding back just so that I have enough money to put food on the table and run my small business. That's where I am. And I'm still knocking at the doors of justice. Help, help, help. Spurious lawsuits. I have answers to every question. But who will represent me and my wife? Do me and my wife have to go pro se? And how do we continue to live our lives? For the last 970 days, my clients have suffered. Everybody has suffered. But you know what? I felt that I am standing up for a noble reason. Martin Luther King Jr. was a nonviolent man, and he struggled to raise the consciousness of the United States of America about civil rights. Today, the United States of America is a progressive society. It's a great society where you can expect answers to problems. You can expect solutions. And that's why I'm here too, on social media. I have an expectation that authorities in my county, in my city, judges, lawyers, would watch this and realize this is wrong. When lawyers misbehave, you are against an impregnable wall. I'm not the only one saying this. I'm like kind of an indirect spokesperson for 3 other families in my neighborhood who are suffering just because they don't have the ability to voice themselves. There are horror stories which I hope I can at least non-verbally convey to you. There are lots of horror stories, folks. Let me give you a few instances of what he did. When we applied for a temporary restraining order from the Santa Clara County Court, giving all the reasons what all he was doing. This dates back to April 2021. And you know what? He called me and he said, "Hey, fuckface, come here." And then I said, I just want to know what he was up to. He's a lawyer, end of the day, how wicked the guy is a lawyer. So you want to hear what he's trying to say. He says, "You think you will get a restraining order against me? You know something? Me and the judge before whom you've applied and who's reading all your documents, we rolled together." This is his expression. We rolled together. You think you'll get a restraining order against me? She and I went to law school together. That's the kind of stuff. And you know what? Even though I've been in the United States for 26 plus years, I have never gone in and out of courts. No, that's not my life. And I didn't know any better. I said, I don't know what's going on. I'm passionate about law. I've been a student of law in India and also through my CPA studies and everything else that I've done. Law is an integral part of my education. So I understand the law and I respect the law. And I said, God, is that true? What he's saying? Is it possible that a lawyer can say that I will never get a restraining order? And the very person against whom I'm trying to get one is saying that to me. You know what? Miracle of the miracles. We did get our temporary restraining order. And that temporary restraining order became a permanent restraining order on December 6th of 2021. You see, I am a believer in the American legal system. I do. Maybe if there is a law enforcement person, maybe the district attorney of my county might think Koshi is going out in public and saying all these things and he should be waiting. May I say this? My young daughter is suffering. My wife is suffering. My wife has been in an emergency from the terrible stress of listening to abusive words every day on our easement, the terrible stress of monetary stress, the stress from helping our daughter get better. All of these things have caused a lot of agony to us. Lies upon lies are being told about us. And then we're supposed to stomach it. And if we were the kind of people who would not be strong from within, probably, you know what? We would have committed suicide, or we would have probably done something stupid. We're not going to do that. Even if we are going to be on the streets of San Jose because of this scoundrel, we are not going to yield to this. You know what? One of the, I'm not going to take names, one of the city officials said, go bake a cake for him and everything will be fine. This is not a cake baking thing. And I'm not a person who goes around fighting with people. I don't do that. I've lived and worked all across the globe in a professional capacity, and people have been respected for who I am. My dad was a person who was highly respected. Why do you think that I would ever tell lies about what I'm doing right now, sharing with you stories? So, coming back on point, we are here in India to rebuild our daughter's confidence so that she does better in school. And, so many things. It's not the way a 14-year-old child, impressionable age of a child, should not be lost in all this lawsuits and all this kind of nonsense. No, I don't want this to happen to anybody. I want laws in our country to be so strong that if somebody calls the police, doesn't matter if somebody is a lawyer, calls the police and says, police, this is so-and-so, my child or my wife, or I am being bullied by this person who happens to be an attorney. Doesn't matter. The police should take action. They should not be beating around because he's a lawyer. Because, the trouble is, as I said earlier in my talk on this video, that he files lawsuits against San Jose police officers because they're standing with us. So there must be some power to lawyers that makes them above the law. Sometimes I feel that a lawyer is even more powerful than a president of the United States. You can't go against them. We have complained thrice. My wife, I complained twice. My wife complained once to um, the California Bar Association, and every time they shut down our case, and that every time that happens, he gets more and more empowered to harm us. This is what's going on, folks. This is what is going on. It's terrible. Right now, he's trying to force me and 3 other homeowners into a homeowners association by just sheer bullying power. Can you imagine that this kind of thing can happen? A homeowners association is a consensus addendum. All members have to agree to be able to be part of a homeowner. We don't have one, but he says there is one. I've never seen it. I've lived in my home for 20 years. I have never seen an HOA document. I've never been attended any meetings, but he claims there is one. Why? Because he's a lawyer. He's trying to force one in a written form. Can you get this? Can you imagine this? And he's arm twisting my neighbors, my Korean neighbor, my Vietnamese neighbor. They're being arm twisted to sign on to one so that he and his wife starts earning monthly income out of us, $500 to $750 a month for doing nothing. Okay, we have a common easement between 5 homes. All our addresses are addresses that are based on the road that we live on. They're not a homeowners association kind of a lane. No. We all take care of our own areas of our properties whenever there is the common areas of the properties of our segments, and we take care of it and we distribute the expenses over it's been happening all the time. Sometimes this rogue does it, sometimes I do it, somebody else does it. There's a storm drain issue or there's a fence issue, we fix it. And then we distribute the cost, portion it between all of us. That's how it works. These are CCNRs. These are not homeowners associations. But why? Because he's a lawyer and everybody's threatened by him, and he knows he has the ability and the wherewithal to carry out nonsense. He's trying to force everybody to, so that he gets about, $500 per month from 4 families, $2,000, easy money, $24,000 a year, or maybe $30,000 a year from each family, apart from his regular attorney practice income and other incomes from all his rental properties and everything else. Another income, right? For him, one of the days when we were on our easement, he calls his wife and says, "Hey, go and shop at Bloomingdale's and Nordstrom and get your best attire. And let's go on a nice cruise." All of these things that this belongs to this guy is going to belong to us. Can you imagine the audacity of a lawyer in Santa Clara County doing these kind of things? That's what I'm talking about. Some of the things he says standing on our easement. You know what he does? He brings his fist up and says, "Come and fight me like a man, you who hide behind women." And then he says, "Where are your balls? Did you have them cut off and swallowed?" I have videos of all this, okay? I'm not making up all this stuff. Security camera videos have caught all this. We have provided all these evidences. Yes, we have a restraining order, but it doesn't stop. Because normal people, if you have this restraining order, they'll stay away. But this is an attorney in the very county where we have filed a lawsuit against him for harming us. It never comes up for hearing because he keeps kicking the can down the road. His spurious lawsuits precede ours. So his spurious lawsuits are also not allowed to be heard because he plays the system. That's how 970 days have gone by. And we have been depleted of all our money. And we're standing up. We're standing up because even 26 years on as an American, I'm still an immigrant to the United States of America. And it's very difficult for me to get justice. I'm an ordinary person. Attorney General Rob Bonta, I'm going to be tagging you on this video. I hope you're listening. Why is this kind of thing happening in our legal system in California? Why is a lawyer able to exploit people of color like me and my wife and our daughter and other neighbors in our neighborhood? Why is it that our neighbor, who happens to be an attorney in Santa Clara County, is above even the district attorney of Santa Clara County, that's so much so that he cannot even take action? That's why, Attorney General Rob Bonta, I am asking you if you can interfere in this matter and stop this guy, stop this fellow. Please, will your office be able to file a complaint with the with the the California Bar Association. I do not know. I'm just an ordinary citizen. I don't wield any influence. I'd have zero influence as a person, as an American. I don't know any people in high places. No media will cover our story. Nobody wants to, because he's an attorney and he will file a lawsuit against their media organization. So media is also afraid of him. What is happening to our pillars of our democracy? If I cannot come to the judiciary, if I cannot come to the media and tell what's going on, if I come to the executive, I face, I'm struggling still. People understand. People in the city of San Jose, in authority, and in Santa Clara County, understand what we're going through, but nobody is able to help us because everybody is treating this guy with kids' gloves because he is a lawyer, has been a lawyer for a long time, and he is an ex-Marine and an ex-Vietnam War veteran. And let me tell you what he does to the police when the police comes to our home. He calls them, "Come here, you public servant." And I'm not making this up. This is on, I would say, every police officer, sergeant who have been, and captains who've been to our, our premises in our area and have even engaged with him. Their body cams will tell the story. This is what he does. "Come here, you public servant." And I'm making these expressions because these are his expressions. "Come here, you public servant. You're just a public servant. You know who I am? I'm a rock star lawyer. You know who I am? I'm a Vietnam War veteran. You know who I am? I'm a Marine. I'm an ex-Marine, United States Marine." And he has his Marine cap and, he shows off that way. "Get out of my property, you SOB." And all that. This is what he calls officers of the city of Santa Clara County. It's dastardly. It's wrong. One must have the courage to say wrong is wrong. If we don't, we'll never have a civil society. We must strive towards a better society. We must. This is not an isolated instance. Bullying is happening throughout California. Otherwise, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, wouldn't have a certain department that addresses hate. There is a department called California versus Hate that comes under the Department of Justice. They have been set up to address hate-related issues. Ours is a hate-related issue. It's nothing else but a systematic hate-related issue. And this needs to be addressed. Why am I doing this video? I'm doing this video for other Asian immigrants, especially South Asian immigrants to the United States. Anywhere, if you are being bullied, please do not sit quiet. Like me, be unashamed to stand up and say it. Use social media. Don't be afraid of lawyers who don't go to social media. If you are being affected, if your life is being ruined by somebody, coming out on social media and saying it is the right thing to do in today's world, because even the media won't help you. Media is not helping me. I have written articles and I've given it to media. They won't. They said, "Get us an affidavit from this guy that he won't trouble you. Then we will report." It's almost like stonewalling you. That's what happens, folks. So, Attorney General Rob Bonta, if you are listening to me, please stop this menace in Santa Clara County, in District 10 of San Jose. Beef up our wonderful city elected officials to feel the courage to deal with this bad rogue attorney. Don't punish me for coming out into the open and bearing my heart. Do I deserve to be put in prison for standing up and saying that an attorney is a bad attorney in Santa Clara County? I don't think so. But if my head needs to be chopped because I dare to talk about an attorney in Santa Clara County who's harming my daughter, harming my wife, harming me, harming my neighbors, threatening us, bullying us, subjecting us to racial slurs, then so be it. I'm happy to become the fall guy. I'm anyway the fall guy. I see myself as one. Martin Luther King Jr. lost his life. He was shot dead for standing up against evil in his times. I'm standing up for evil in these contemporary 21st century times, telling my story. Nobody's listening. or nobody's acting on it to stop it. Will we ever recover our money? We don't know. We lost a lot. I know how difficult it is to make every dollar in the United States of America. As a finance person, I understand. There is no safety net in the US. This is not a socialist country where if I lose my career, that the government would compensate me. No. You have to work hard. That's the American principle. That's the American way of life. That American way of life has taught me to be bold. Why am I out here? Because I'm being bold. And I'm telling it as it is. I know when I put my story on Instagram or on Facebook, there are people who laugh at me and say all kinds of stupid things. Who cares for them? But the larger majority of the people will get the message if they watch this video. It's already gone on to 30 minutes plus. So I'm going to bring this to an end. Please, folks, be bold. Be bold. Do not be afraid of bullies. Don't let your children be destroyed. Stand up as communities against bullying and racism and harassment. I'm all alone in my fight. Nobody's standing with me. Just me, my wife, and our daughter. We've approached the courts. We've approached the law enforcement authorities. They all know about it. But they feel helpless on some reason or the other. And of course, you know what? There's a backlog in the court system. I understand that. And that backlog works to this guy's advantage. Because there is a backlog and there are dates that go into the future where every time there is a gap, it works to this rogue's advantage and to our disadvantage. It's almost like, I'm the plaintiff, but the plaintiff becomes the defendant. Our attorney, not ours, our neighbor who happens to be an attorney is innocent unless he's proven guilty. My predicament as an ordinary American citizen is, you are guilty until you're proved innocent. Why? Because you are complaining against an attorney, no matter how rogue he is. This is wrong. The law is the same for everybody, whether you're an attorney or the United States president. If you do a wrong thing in a democratic society, there are pillars of democracy that ensure justice is done. I have approached the executive, I have approached the legislature, I have approached the judiciary, I have approached the media. The doors have not closed, but the constant depletion of money, the stress from all this, to be able to be normal, to be able to function, to be able to service my clients. I'm a self-employed person. Doesn't a self-employed person deserve any dignity and respect in the United States of America? I don't think so. As a CPA in public practice, I know small business is the fulcrum, is the center of the power of the US democracy. It's not big companies. It's not the giant company. It's a small business that makes up. And every politician knows that. You hear politicians say that all the time. I'm not trying to become a politician. I'm just a regular guy who wants to go back to his regular life and have his peace about him. And I'll tell you one more thing. The reason I'm able to smile, the reason I have peace in me, is because in whom I trust. My wife trusts, my daughter trusts. We trust and believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. We're Christians. We don't cheat. We don't harm people. We don't tell lies. Whatever I've told you, whatever I've shared with you here is absolute truth. You can look up in the Santa Clara County. No, you can't look it up, but the courts have all the documentations, all the videos and everything. They need to act upon this. If it's just a simple matter that, I wouldn't suffer financially. I feel like I've been robbed. We've had lawyers who have represented us and whom we've paid a lot of money to. They don't want to do anything because this man is able to play the system. You get my point. This is what I'm facing. This is why I'm doing these videos. I don't want to keep doing videos and bore you all. No. But if I'm able to get the message across on social media, I hope some genuine media person feels for us and talks to me and my wife and our daughter. We're willing to come on any media and talk. We're not ashamed because we know what we've been through. And telling what we've been through is not a crime. Thank you, folks. This video has been 34 minutes and 57 seconds long before it becomes 35 and beyond. Have a wonderful day. This is Koshi George, CPA, a licensed CPA from the state of California, here in Kochi, India for a short time to visit family and to enable that my daughter becomes a stronger person when she returns back to the United States. It's a long journey. Her confidence has been shattered by this bully attorney bullying her. We all been bullied, but we are staying strong. I'm there for my daughter. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm there for my wife and my daughter. And no matter how much I'm punished for standing up against a rogue attorney, until I have my last breath in me, I will stand up against this madness. Mahatma Gandhi lost his shirt and took a bullet for India's freedom. I don't want to die. I want to be able to live. I want to be able to live better beyond all that's happened to us and recover our lost years. And I have a hope and a belief that it will happen because I'm an American citizen and I know I have rights and privileges, and that no matter how busy or complicated complexities abound in our country, mine is a trivial problem for law enforcement or for courts, but still I believe that we will get justice, and hopefully my money will last out and I don't come on the streets of San Jose as a homeless person, me and my wife and my daughter out there begging, because we would have lost everything based on the lawsuits that he continues to file in the courts against us. Thank you, folks. Thank you for patiently watching this. Honorable Attorney General Rob Bonta, I hope you are watching this too. Thank you so much.